Hi and welcome. I'm Ashley Profit, and today I want to share with you 4 different ways to use your stock images from the SC Stockshop to create better brand awareness and consistency throughout your business. So the beauty of the SC Stockshop and the brand builder sets are that you have multiple images in a collection using the same colorway, the same color palette, and similar propping throughout each image. And what that does is give you infinite possibilities for utilizing those images to create this consistency in all of your client touch points. And so today I want to share with you 4 specific ways that you can use these brand builder sets and the images that come in them to create this beautiful and consistent brand awareness. So let's get started. Our first example is of a website homepage. And so here you can see this is just a mock-up of my homepage, Ashley Profit. And so all I've done is added a homepage banner with an SC Stockshop image from the Happy Poppy brand builder collection. And so you can just very quickly see how beautiful this is. But the beauty comes when all of the touch points from here on out have the same imagery, the same color palette, the same similar propping and feel. And what that does is communicate to your client, to your audience, that you are professional, that you are consistent, that you are trustworthy. Here we have this beautiful image, and then we go to the blog page and we see, oh, there it is again, the same consistent, beautiful imagery used here again on your blog page. And we know how vital it is to have consistent imagery within our blogs just for the visual appeal for the readers, for the audience. But we also want to always have beautiful imagery here because it is vital for your marketing efforts on Pinterest. This image specifically would get pinned dozens of times just for its sheer visual beauty. Add some text on there and now it's helpful, functional, and beautiful. Next we have a Facebook page, and this is again just a sample. We've used one of the images, a different image from that same brand builder set, and we've added text and we've incorporated it into our Facebook page, and now it has made this Facebook client touch point, our audience touch point, really beautiful and welcoming, and it's communicating the same visual aesthetic from start to finish. So they've seen it now on your website, they've seen it on your blog, and now they see the same beautiful consistency here on your Facebook page. And it's not boring, it doesn't feel stagnant as if you were using the same image multiple times, but you're using different images from the same set in different ways. So different cropping, different styling, even text treatment by adding text in there. What it does is just create consistency, and you can see that as we scroll homepage, blog page, and your Facebook page. And so lastly, we have our Instagram account, and for anybody in the creative industry, it is just vital that your Instagram feed is just beautiful. It's just this really great opportunity to show visually appealing, visually beautiful images. And the SC Stockshop and specifically these brand builder sets offer that because, like I said at the beginning, there are infinite possibilities for cropping these images in. They're so precise, even down to their smallest detail. And so you can see that I think I used 2 different images here to create 4 Instagram images, and I just cropped in different ways, and look how stunning that makes that Instagram feed be. So let's get started on how to specifically do these in the 4 different ways. The program that I use is Photoshop, and that's where I'm going to show you how to do this today. There are other programs that we will probably be showing to you in the future, but for today, for the sake of time, we will just be showing you Photoshop. I will open up Photoshop, and we're going to go in order. We're going to do a homepage image, a blog image, then we're going to do Facebook, and then lastly, I'll show you how to crop in for those Instagram images. So for your homepage, you're going to create a new file. So you would go File, New, or you would open. Now what's important here is that you know what your banner size is. So this is going to be different from website to website, from theme to theme, whether you're on WordPress or Squarespace. So it's just important that you know what size your homepage requires. And that's as easy as either asking your web developer, your website designer, or just Googling your specific theme, whether you're on Squarespace or WordPress. That's a pretty typical, easy thing to Google. So for me, mine is 980 by $3.97. So again, these are specific to my website, and yours are probably 99% of you going to be different than that. So make sure you look up your specific sizes, or else it's going to come out a little bit wonky in the end. Whenever you're creating a new file, you want to make sure that you name it. So we're going to call this homepage banner, and then you add in your size, so your width and your height. Make sure this is pixels. Whenever we're on the web, we want to use pixels. And your resolution just needs to be 72. And then you're going to click OK. Here you can see we've got our blank palette here. We can do anything we want with it. And so what I've done, I've pulled all of our images for today in my little folder. And I have all my images. And so I'm going to pull in. A really easy way to do this is to just simply drag. I don't know if you knew you could do that, but you can literally just drag it right into Photoshop. Now what I'm doing here, I'm going to scale it to the size of my banner. I don't want to leave it like this. That would look a little bit funny. I want it to be the full width of that banner image. And so I'm going to grab it with my mouse, and I'm going to hold the shift key while I pull. And that's going to make sure that your image scales appropriately. Otherwise, if I take my finger off the shift key, I can do this, and nobody wants that. Okay, I'm going to actually undo that, and I'm going to re-pull that image in, just so we don't ever want to scale an image that way. I'm holding the shift key down and pulling and cropping this. And so now we see that I've filled up my banner image appropriately, and now I'm just going to move it until I feel like it's in a great spot, and then you just click enter, and that sets your image in place. So now I'm going to add text. Now, this again is going to depend on what you want on your home page, but should you have an announcement or a shop announcement or something that you just want to say right away to somebody who's coming to your website, adding some text here is a great opportunity, because they're going to stop and for a second and look at how beautiful this image is. So you might as well use that opportunity and add some text in there for a quick message to your audience. So I'm just going to, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to just say welcome. And that doesn't say welcome because that's in not the right font. So we're going to say welcome here. I'm going to you can see over here in my character palette, I'm going to increase the size just by holding my mouse over the T and pulling in the direction of that big T. So if I go the other way towards the little T, it's going to shrink bigger. Okay, so there we go. Now, you can find lots of in-depth instructions about how to even use this character palette, but just real quick note, this is going to change your color. This is going to change your line spacing if I had multiple lines here of text, and this would increase my letter spacing. I don't want to do that because it's a hand lettered calligraphy font, and that's going to only look great if it's connected. Okay, so there we go. Look, homepage banner done. Now, a very important tip that most people miss when they're saving images for the web is to actually save for web. So if you go here and go File, Save As, it's going to just save this this Photoshop file as a Photoshop file, okay? So I'm going to save this because it's always important to save things. But what I want to do is save for web. There's not an option to do that here. For some reason. It used to be in there. Someone can probably tell me why, but the shortcut to that is, and you probably should write this down, Command Shift Alt S, all at the same time. And this beautiful pop-up will come up, and this is really helpful because it's gonna show you exactly what it's gonna look like on your site. We can see down here on the left, this is 100%, so this is exactly how it will translate on your website. Here, over here under image size, we have, you want to double check and make sure that your dimensions are correct. This is loading information, so it's saying that it's going to take about 77 seconds to load. And that's going to be helpful if you're saving larger images, to know what best way to save those images so that your load speed isn't astronomical. So up here on the top, these are your different options. So a JPEG, you can see, just decreased my load time to 53 seconds. And a ping 8, which means they're picking 8 different colors to save this ping file. It kind of compresses it. Now it's only 23 seconds versus a ping 24, which is 77 seconds. It's up to you, however you think that it looks best. I tend to always go towards ping 24 because the quality of the image is going to be better. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a difference. So the ping 8, you can see if you look over here, it looks a little more pixely And if I go to ping 24, it looks much more clear. So I'm going to just go ahead and save it at the ping 24. I just think it looks so crisp and beautiful that I'm going to risk somebody with a slower internet speed not seeing it. all web designers just cringed at me for saying that. Save. Okay, so now it's homepage banner 2. Make sure it's in the right spot. And now you're done and you're ready to load that into your website. So let's do a Facebook page. Nope, let's do a blog page. So we're going to do new. Now again, this is going to be dependent on what size your blog is. Again, you're going to need to find that information out specific to your website and your blog size. But for me, I always do 800 by 1200. And again, make sure you name it. Blog image. I do 800 by 1200. There are multiple studies, you've probably seen the stats, that Pinterest loves vertical images. So here we're going to use a vertical image from the SC Stockshop. So again, I'm going to go, I pulled my folder up where my images were, and I have all of her images here, and I'm going to just drag this in. Okay, so all I did was drag it in and hit enter and it placed. I'm going to show you another way to do that. If you don't want to drag, you would go File, Place Embedded, and then you're going to find the image. Just like that. Now you have your image here. One thing that you could do if you knew you were going to always use this specific image for a series of blog posts or a specific, like every Monday you write a certain thing, you would probably create a template with this image, but maybe you want to use this image more than one time, and again, we don't want it to be stagnant or redundant. We would think about what it would look like to crop this image in a different way. So maybe we just increase the size of it or something like that, or we only use the bottom part, or we zoom in real close. There's lots of options here. That looks kind of fun, right? I kind of like that. And see how different that looks than if I had just pulled in just like this. Now you effectively have two different images. See how fun that is? And all I'm doing is over here in the layers palette, I'm just turning my eye on and off. But I kind of love how this is looking. So now what I want to do, so you could put this on your blog just like this, but that's not going to tell your audience anything right away, and it's definitely not going to tell Pinterest viewers what this image is for. They'll like it and they'll repin it, but you want them to go back to your website and to read what it is that you're writing about. I'm going to click here on the rectangle tool, and I made sure that my box was white. My color, there's probably better terminology here, people. Again, everyone's probably cringing. And I'm just going to draw a box, a square, and this is where I'm going to put my title of my blog post. So what you can see is here my smart guides have shown up. All I'm doing, I was kind of hovering over until they clicked into place. Where'd they go? Okay, if they're not working, another way you can do that is to go over here in your layers palette and hold the rectangle, or the layer that you want to align is the right term. So you're going to click on that, and then you're going to hold the command key and click background. And then up here you have these beautiful alignment tools, and I'm going to align it via the center, and so vertically and horizontally. Here's the best tip I could ever give somebody who's trying to learn how to do some of these things. Google everything. So you could seriously Google show alignment in Photoshop, and someone will tell you how to do it better than me. Okay, so we click on this layer, and I'm going to decrease my opacity. That's what I'm doing right here, over here, to 80%. And then I'm going to add a text title here, and so I just clicked on the text tool. And look, perfectly centered. And I'm going to say tips, and I highlight it, and I'm going to change the color to black, and I'm going to increase the size, and then I'm going to add another text box that says for working moms. I know you can't see it. This, do you see how that has like a little box in a box? That's telling me that the text is too big. It's going over, it's overset text. So I'm going to, don't worry, the box is still there. I'm going to shrink this. Oh, look, I told you. I'm going to change the font here's a fun trick. If you want your letters to be in all caps, you just, did you see what I did? Here's the character palette, the 3 lines here, all caps, boom. I'm going to decrease this way down. Look at that. So good. Okay, for the sake of time, we're not going to play perfectionist Ashley here, and we're just going to get it done. Tips for working moms. So now you have this gorgeous image, even despite my lack of time on the typography here and the text treatment. It's a beautiful image that would get pinned. This would get pinned. This is going to help market your blog post. Also, people will share this image. They will love this image. They will share it on Facebook. They will share it on Instagram because it's beautiful, and it's not going to make their, their feed, their whatever they're sharing it on, look poorly. This is just a really great way to increase, again, brand awareness, and it's essentially free marketing. Just one note about this. So once you're done, you want to make sure that you save for web again. So we're going to do Command-Shift-Alt-S. I've done it so many times I didn't even know what it was for. Again, make sure you save this. So I'm going to save it as blog image 2 because I've already done some. My quick note about this is what you would want to do is create consistency among all your blog images. And so maybe you use this same image, or maybe use images like this one from the same brand builder set, or maybe use additional images from the SC Stockshop with a similar color palette. For example, you could use blushes. In this one, you could use corals within your blog, within your website. But make sure that your blog images are consistent. So create a template that you use every time so that your audience, when they see those things coming up on Pinterest, or when they see those images being shared on Facebook or on Instagram, they know that those are coming from you. And so you want to make sure that you use a similar layout, similar, the same fonts every time, the same colors each time. So that's just a quick note. So we're done here. We'll save this one. We're going to close that out. Okay. Next, we're going to do, and we're almost done here, those take a little bit longer, we're going to do a Facebook cover page, and that is, you can write this one down because this is the same. It is 851 by 315. And again, make sure you put a name. And you're going to do 72 resolution, so 72 pixels per inch. And you're going to click OK. And now, again, we're gonna pull in one of our images that we haven't used yet. So we've used this one, and we've used this one, and now we're going to use this one. Now, again, I want to scale this so that it fits appropriately to this. I mean, you could actually leave it like this because it's designed and beautifully styled by Shay of the SC Stockshop to have this beautiful white space that is kind of infinite to the right of it. So you could actually do it like this. But I think I want to increase the size just for some visual interest. You could do that any way you want, but I'm specifically loving the way these flowers are laying beautifully over that keyboard. I'm going to pull this bounding box and hold the shift key while I do that, and then I'm going to click enter. And now we have this beautiful image here. That could be, if it was within your realm of schedule and possibility, you could change this out once a week on your Facebook page to create interest, visual interest and activity there on your Facebook page. I mean, look, even that is really beautiful, is really stunning. You could do, I'm not joking when I say that there are infinite possibilities. So that's really beautiful, but I'm still really loving the way that those flowers are on the keyboard. So we're going to come right here, and then we're going to add text. Again, this is where you would either add your logo or any announcement, anything that you want on that cover page of your of that cover photo on your Facebook page. And so I'm just going to, again, for the sake of time and the sample, I'm going to just click the text tool and say welcome. And I'm going to change the font to this one that I'm currently obsessed with, Monster. I don't even know if that's how you say it. We're going to change this from all caps, and we're going to increase the size. Now, I don't love that capital W, so we're going to make him little. Okay, beautiful. And again, we're done. You're just going to Command-Shift-Alt-S. Save for web. It looks great in Ping 24. You can see in ping 28, it doesn't actually look that different. So for the sake of internet speed, you might just go ahead and do it that way. So save. I'm going to say Facebook 2. Done. Look at you. Look at you go. Okay, the last thing that I want to do is I'm going to add new, and we're going to do our Instagram images. So I do mine 1,000 by 1,000. They don't need to actually be that big, but I do that just to be safe. Probably 800, 900 is fine, but make sure it's a square. And so now we have a perfect square, and I'm going to do the same thing that I've done before. I'm going to open my box here, and I'm going to drag in some of these images. And I'm going to scale it. And all I'm doing is moving this around. This image is so gorgeous. I can't believe there's any left. You guys should go buy it today before they're sold out after this tutorial. Are there any left? I wish you guys could. I'll talk back. Okay, ready? Happy Poppy. Look how beautiful that is. And now you have this gorgeous Instagram image. That's all you would have to do for any of those Instagram images. You're just going to pull them in. You're going to crop them differently. The reason I wanted to show you this one, so you would save it like this, and you could use it like this. Another way you could do this, or you utilize this image, is by using the floral as a background for an announcement. Maybe you're offering a course, maybe you launch a new product line, whatever it might be. This would be a great opportunity and a great way to utilize the same imagery, same color palette, same cropping, same florals, and same type treatment, and make an announcement. Hooray. I clearly don't know how to spell today. Okay, so here we go. Beautiful. I would probably scale in that square because I just love those poppies too much to hide them any more than that. But this would be a really great, okay, I'm just going to add another text layer just so you can see coupon code. And again, I know it's there. It was just really big. So we're just going to go down, down, down. Brandon, bold. Brandon's a favorite. I use it a lot. It's just a really great font choice. I'm going to increase. Look how beautiful it is. And now you have an Instagram announcement utilizing the same imagery. It's going to go beautifully in your Instagram feed if you're cropping images from this specific brand builder set or from whatever brand builder set you've purchased. If you're using those in your Instagram feed consistently and then you use one for an announcement, it's just a more aesthetically pleasing way to announce anything to your audience. You're going to gain a little bit more feedback, a little bit more interaction that way. Lastly, anytime I add text in or extra elements, I want to always make sure they're aligned. And I showed you that before, but I'm going to do it one more time. So over here in your layers palette, you're just going to click on all these layers. And you're going to hold the shift key while you do it. And actually, we don't want the Shea Cochran, we don't want the image because I didn't crop it perfectly to a square. It's all, here I'll show you, it's all like moved around in there. So you would unselect that one. I'm gonna hold the command key and select all the other layers. And then I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna just make sure that they're all vertically aligned. And see, they weren't. Now here's the funny thing, this is just a side note. Calligraphy fonts, because there's tails and swoopy things, they don't always, swoopy things, do you like that I called it that? All the calligraphers just come out of me. It's not gonna perfectly center visually. So I'm gonna eyeball that and see that looks better. Okay, perfect. Okay, and then I'm gonna do save as. Text looks great at ping 8. I bet it's gonna look better at ping 9. Yes, did you see that? Did you see how cleaned up that looked? Guys, watching this tutorial was worth it just for that tip. Okay, all right, save. Instagram announcement, awesome. Okay, I'm gonna show you one, I'm gonna delete all these, and I'm gonna show you one more. Just the reason I like to pull these in is because it makes it a lot easier to scale. So I'm just scaling, and then look. Isn't that beauty? So I would save it like that, or I could go in and crop it there. Oh, no, like there. There. You could crop it there. You could even crop it there and add text over here. Infinite possibilities. Oh my gosh, stunning, right? Stunning. So that is how we used these 4 images to create endless opportunities for your client to know and recognize your visual brand, your visual aesthetic across the board, from homepage to Facebook page to Instagram, your Instagram feed. And so I hope that was helpful. I would love to know if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to expound on. We plan to make plenty more of these videos in the future for you. Hope that was great. Enjoy!